We're also joined by senior economist Rajat Kathuria. Rajat Kathuria, what do you make of the union budget in the first place? We've talked about direct tax proposals, but in terms of fiscal prudence itself, do you think the budget is taking the task that was laid, after COVID, when India had to increase a lot of spending, breach some of those guidelines that were there initially? But are we on that path now? And what kind of an impact would it have overall in the economy and on people as well?
So I think so. So thanks, Gautam. Let me just say that since I'm not in the studio, I'm unable to see your body language. So stop me when you want to. If I'm sort of going on longer than you think I should, so just stop me. I think the macroeconomic stability is one of the positives that has happened for India over the last few years. We've been growing at significant rates, 7.5%, and I think this year as well we'll grow at about 7.4%. I think the weakness has been in the nominal rate of growth. So a nominal GDP is growing only at 8% this year, and hopefully it will pick up as inflation picks up and we get price signals. Hopefully that will pick up. Now that has implications for the questions that you're asking. I think post-COVID we did fairly well. We had a fiscal stimulus and then we withdrew. We had direct tax and indirect tax proposals. GST revenues picked up, so our revenue position became a little comfortable, and therefore the finance minister was able to reduce the fiscal deficit, over time sequentially from 4.9% to 4.7 to 4.5. Now this year to 4.4, and next year to 4.3. She would have liked to go to 4.0 next year, but I think given what's happened to the nominal GDP, she has just reduced the fiscal deficit by about 10 basis points for next year. But I think I commend her for maintaining fiscal consolidation, whether it's through the fiscal deficit or whether it's through the debt to GDP ratio. So that's the positive. The macroeconomic situation is the positive. The weakness, I think, as I was saying, is the lack of growth in the nominal GDP. But what's happened, if you look at the numbers, we don't have the numbers. I don't think the finance minister had time today to tell us what the nominal GDP growth rate is going to be or what the real growth rate is going to be. But what's happened over time is that there has been a change in the sources of revenue for the government and change in the nature of expenditure. I think the government has been doing the heavy lifting as far as capital investment is concerned, and capital investment is critical to grow.
Right.
Given the incremental capital output ratio about 5, if we are investing about 34% of GDP, we grow at about 7% or thereabouts. I think government has been doing the heavy lifting in the sense that it's been investing more in capital. Revenue expenditure has come down from the projected rate, so there's been some shortfall of government revenue expenditure, which is why we've been able to maintain the fiscal deficit. But no quibbles with that. I think let me just say one more thing, which is what Shubhamoy had begun to allude to and what everybody is talking about. I think our big growth momentum that happened in 1991, 2004 were on the back of private investment. And I think the government wants private investment to come back. So a lot of the reform measures that you see that have been begun in this budget are directed to getting back private investment into the country. And what Shubhamoy was just saying about foreign investment is absolutely right. You want to get foreign investment back into the country. You want to grow on the back of foreign investment because it has a knock-on effect on domestic investment, both in terms of technology, managerial skills, and competition. So I think that's a very good sign. Get more foreign investment. And I think one of the things that will be talked about for a long, long time post this budget, as Shubhamoy said, one is, of course, the STT, which has gone up. But the other thing is the massive tax holiday that the finance minister has announced in the new age sectors for the data centers and for investors who are going to set up long-term investments in the country. I mean, they go up to 25 years and 15 years. I think that's a good sign to get those investments in the new age sectors because India does have a comparative advantage. We have the software, we need the hardware. If you combine our soft skills, which are a comparative advantage, along with the hardware, then I think we can become leaders in design as well, which is another focus of this year's
Absolutely.
budget.
So